about when they need some sort of problem solved. So if you got 50 website visits this year, but it was 50 people that are ready to buy, that's probably a really good website traffic. But if you told someone I only had 50 website visits, they'd be like, oh, that's horrible. But if I got 50 buyers because they're typing in Rich Tomasini Realtor, then that's probably a really good personal branding thing that you've done. So that's my goal, is I want to try and help you guys create videos that allows awareness, it allows branding, it allows you to be the thought leader and expert in your community. So people are coming to you whenever they have that specific problem that they need solved. So I do a lot of video. I learned videography out of necessity to be a better marketer. So I am a marketer first and then a video person second. And now everyone knows me as video guy. So that is what it is. So kind of first thing to get started, why is video so effective for marketing? When you are able to get on video, you can see somebody, you can see their expressions, you can kind of learn from them as far as what their personality is like. You can look into their eyes and you can really develop a relationship and trust. I had a guy that I used to own a gym, and so a guy that was a member at my gym, he texted my wife and said, hey, is your boss at so-and-so this evening? And she said, actually, yeah, he is. He's like, well, I saw Ryan posted a video of him and I see him over at this thing on like the other side of town. So what that means is people actually can relate and feel like they know this guy. They're like, yeah, he's a closing attorney. He's over in Mooresville. He's with you. He knows that he's my wife's boss. And so when you start kind of seeing people's faces, you start recognizing them, and now you've developed this kind of brand throughout the entire area of Charlotte, really. So it's really effective, so people can understand who you are and understand what your personality and what it's going to be like to work with you. So the next question I usually get is, do you need professional videos versus DIY? Professional videos are great. DIY videos are also great, and a lot of people don't have a budget for a professional video, and that's perfectly fine. I actually tell Rich, like, I need you to post some videos that aren't professional. Like, I need you to do some selfie, kind of just iPhone videos, because it breaks it up. If everything's very professional, it actually doesn't have as good of a perception, because people think that they are always scripted. So you want to break it up. You want to have a little bit of both. And a great place to start is with these DIY videos, which that's what I'm going to try and help you guys understand today. One of the most important things with video is understanding the consistency of it. So we were talking about this before we started, is if you are consistently posting, people are looking forward to it. They're starting to see who you are, and they now recognize what's going on. So you have to be consistent, and what that's going to do is give you brand awareness. All you're looking for is brand awareness. You want people to know who you are. That's the main goal of all marketing nowadays, if you're trying to develop a brand rather than develop sales. So I always tell people, it's not sales. Like, your videos will not sell. They will not make you money now. But in 6 months from now, when they start knowing who you are and trusting you, then that's when you're going to see more and more increase of, it's called branded search. So people typing in Rich Tomasini Realtor rather than Realtor in Mooresville, North Carolina. So that's the purpose behind all of this. So kind of moving forward, what types of video works best on certain platforms? So I kind of have five social media platforms that are out there right now. And usually I say own one. Find one that's going to be your social media platform and own it. So you've got Instagram. What videos work best? Instagram stories. If you're not using Instagram stories, then you are missing out of what Instagram is actually being successful for. The next one on Instagram is entertainment. So people go on Instagram for social entertainment. They don't go on there to be educated. So if you're doing FAQ and educational videos on Instagram, then you're not going to get as much traction if you did something that's entertaining. So Rich's Revenue Dogs video that is coming out, that's a good one, like little pieces of it on Instagram, because it's entertaining. The next kind of platform, the full video of Revenue Dogs, is going to go on YouTube, because it's longer form video. You're looking for that 8 to 12 minute video. Men are predominantly on YouTube. They love seeing how-tos, DIY, tutorials. It's like 80% viewership on YouTube is males. So long form how to DIY and tutorials. So, you know, if you guys are wanting to do a how to fix this leaky faucet, like I'm a realtor, I always go through for inspections and I need to make sure that all the stuff's working. And every now and then I see a leaky faucet, so I fixed it. And so over my years of being a real estate agent, I learned how to fix a leaky faucet really quickly. Here's a couple things to do. You can do a tutorial on that, and it's nothing to do about being a realtor, but it also paints you as an expert that you help somebody. And that's really what you're trying to do, is provide value. The next one is Facebook. Facebook is basically like 35 and older. It's now gone to a old person's platform. I live on Facebook, even though I'm not 35 yet, but I think Facebook is where all the money's at, because generally 35 and older has more money to spend. So what works really well, the older generation likes to be educated. So we want to make sure we're doing these FAQ videos, educational videos, giving tips and tricks, because that's what that older generation really likes to see. It just helps them develop the trust to know that they're speaking with an authority figure. Next one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is business to business. So there's a lot of business owners. So if you're creating LinkedIn videos, then make sure it relates to a business person, people that are having a corporate kind of, you know, mentality on something. The 60 seconds to 2 minute is kind of the time frame on LinkedIn videos that works. And the last one, the newest one, is TikTok. This is kind of a new, it's what the kids are using now. So if you're wanting to reach more of like the millennial and up and coming, TikTok's good. It's literally just funny videos, like lip syncing or making ridiculous videos. You will never do any sort of educational piece on TikTok, but you could build a huge brand of awareness of saying, hey, I know that guy, that's the dancing realtor, or whatever you want to do. So those are all the platforms. That's kind of everything. Now I want to get into the nuts and bolts of what we're actually going to talk about, which is the videos you need and how to create them, which is why we're here today. So the first one is, I recommend this as your first video for every single person. It's a humanizing or a relatable video. How can you be relatable to somebody else? So for Rich, he's running a marathon right now, or he's gonna be a half marathon. So he's gonna be running a half marathon. So if we wanted to, we should be creating a video and say, hey, right now I'm training for this half marathon. Here's what I'm going through. Here's my experiences, and here's what, here's what it's like. Because other runners are gonna now listen to that and be like, I can relate to that guy. Like, I've ran a marathon, I've done a half marathon, I've trained for one. I want to talk to him. That's someone I can relate to. He's a car guy. You know, we can talk about his cars. We did a video about his modern house, because these are all things to make him relatable, make him just a normal human. I work with a lot of attorneys, and, you know, trying to make attorneys normal humans, make them fun, make them entertaining, because people they know that they're smart. You're an attorney. We get it. Like, you passed the bar. But if you're a boring attorney like everyone else, I don't want to work with you. But if you're an attorney that likes LSU football and flies a plane, you're probably someone I want to talk to a little bit more. I now know a little bit more information about you. So the first one, be a human. Like, just talk about your life, some sort of experience. And we'll get into kind of scripting this out later. The next one is the educational or FAQ. This is how you can paint yourself as the expert and the thought leader in your industry. So you guys have questions that are asked to you all the time, the same questions, buyers, sellers, other realtors, whatever it may be. You get these questions all the time. We'll start answering them. And the format for that is problem, solution, benefit. Here's the problem you have. I need to understand what the first step of buying a house is. And so we're asked this question all the time. To buy a house, the very first thing you should do is go talk to a lender to understand what you're qualified or pre-approved for. What that does is it helps us save you a bunch of time for looking at houses of things that you might not be able to get. We don't want to waste your time or our time. And so that's going to allow you to get narrowed down to what specific houses you can be looking for. Problem, we said it. The solution, go talk to a lender. And the benefit, so we don't waste a bunch of time. Problem, solution, benefit. FAQ, you can literally use that and only that, and you'll get a bunch of recognition from that. It paints you as the thought leader or the expert. The next one is a demonstration video. These are my guys that say, I don't have time to shoot content, make videos. I'm a realtor. I'm out here recruiting agents, whatever it may be. No problem. People want to know what it's like to work with you. So set up a camera like this and do your thing. Hey, Rich, is it cool if I record our conversation? I'm going to make sure that no information is disclosed, but just want to show people what it's like to work with me. Awesome. So, tell me about the house you're looking for. What's it going to be? I'm taking notes. And so now people can see what it actually would be like to work with me. So very, very easy. You don't do anything other than what you already do and document it. So it's just demonstrating what it's like to work with you so people can, get that little bit of feel of, oh, I trust them already. I already know what the experience is going to be. I don't have to worry if I'm making the right decision. The next one is the testimonial or client story. You guys have probably had hundreds of people that have bought houses or sold houses with you. What was it like to work with me? Just let people know. I live off of referrals and testimonials, so please could you talk to the camera? I'm just going to ask you a few questions about what it was like to work with me. And what that does, it just gives the positive affirmation of, this is how it was to work with me, and this is not me saying it, somebody else is saying it. And if you can't get the actual testimonial, give the story. So, the first time I met Rich, he didn't know what he was going to do for video. So what we did is we documented 4 or 5 different questions that he's asked all the time, and we made sure we outlined this problem, solution, benefit. After we recorded those videos, he felt super comfortable, and next time we came to shoot, he actually had a list of 14 different videos using the same exact formula. So it was awesome to see how good it was with Rich's comfortability after the first time we met. Rich didn't give me the testimonial, but now you've heard a story that you can now relate to. You guys probably feel the same way, like, I'm not comfortable. Well, great. We just told the story of Rich. And then not the very last one, we got one more. So community involvement, that's the next one. So if you are not active in your community, you can get a ton of recognition by helping something in your community. And I know a lot of people don't like talking about it and they like doing it secretive, but you're not doing it to get recognition. You're doing it because you truly want to help the community. So if you document, hey, Rich and I are going to go pay $1,000 in donation for kids soccer, and we document that, like, hey, we're donating this and this is why. The reason you do that is because you want other people to do it. If nobody's doing it, no one wants to one-up you. So if Rich and I go and say we're doing $1,000, somebody else will say, that's a great cause. I want to do $1,500 because I want to be better than Rich. And so the power of that, one, is going to help your community out, and it's going to show you as kind of that community-centric person. But also you're going to get other people to help out, and you're going to be able to grow your community, and you can really get behind something like that. You're going to develop good relationships with other people. And then the very last one is a brand video, which is kind of the who you are, what you do. I always suggest those to be a professional video, because you trying to do that on an iPhone probably wouldn't work that well. But basically it's the cinematic, someone talks about their story, who they are, what they do, who they serve, how they benefit them. That's one that can live on your website. That's one that you should put money behind for ad spend, all that kind of stuff. But those are kind of the 6 videos I recommend for every single person. I don't think you need more. Honestly, you can live off of 1 or 2 of those and be just fine. So now for the fun part, how to start. How can we actually shoot our first videos or some videos effectively? Step 1, before you do anything, you have to plan your video out. And the planning is not the video. The planning is, what is my video about? So let's take an example. What do we want to do a video on today?
How to do an open house.
How to do an open house. Okay, so how to do an open house. That means our video target market is other realtors. And it's not just realtors, it's selling agents, because they're going to be the ones hosting this open house. So now we know that the target market is selling agents. Where are real estate agents most commonly using social media?
Where are they using it? Facebook.
So they're on Facebook. Okay, so that means our video is going to be on Facebook. The target is going to be selling agents. And so we now have the platform. And so we know the type of video, how to, that's a FAQ video. So now we know that it's going to be a horizontal video, just like this guy over here. And then we also know that it's going to be targeted to real estate agents. That means they're probably like, you can talk the lingo, you know, you don't have to kind of try and dumb it down, I guess. They should know some of the words you're going to say. So the next part after that is the script. So we're going to go into that problem, solution, benefit. So the problem of this is
You don't get anybody walk in.
so you're getting ready to do an open house and you don't know if anybody's going to walk into this open house. Well, here are 3 tips that I'm going to give you that have helped me give an effective open house. Tip number 1, boom. Tip number 2, boom. Tip number 3, boom. And so with these tips, if you effectively use them, you're going to be able to fill up that open house. So you're not standing there watching TV and eating the cookies that your wife baked sitting on the counter. So now as an agent, if I watch that, I'm like, hell yeah, like I want to do that. I don't want to be sitting there eating the cookies. I'm already big enough. I mean, good God. So problem, solution, benefit. And this is only just one problem, solution, benefit. There's another problem that you have with open houses. When to have an open house. Is it more effective to have an open house on Saturday or Sunday? When is the best time to have an open house? So there's a ton of questions you can be answering and you be the expert. So like if Rich wants to be the expert in open houses, know the people that you're talking to, know the problems that they're going through, give them a solution and tell them the benefit to them. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They usually just do problem solution, but when you tell them what that actual benefit is, it makes you emotionally connected. So you're not sitting there eating all the cookies your wife baked. So you're not wasting 3 hours of your day sitting there with nobody coming through the doors.
So your seller's happy.
Yeah, so your seller's happy. You know, when you can go back to your seller and tell them, I had 15 people walk through your house, which is not a common number because the average is only 3. So think about giving those benefits at the end. It's really gonna add some emotional connectivity to your video. Problem, solution, benefit. The next part was actually shooting the video. So finding a location. Step 1 in finding a location, have an interesting background. So like, this is more interesting. Like we're on this side, we look pretty good here. I got horns coming out of my head. You know, we look pretty good. This one is not as interesting because we have Rich back here. So we wouldn't want Rich in our video because it's not interesting. So generally what I like to do is first find some sort of interesting background. Step number 2, you want light in your face. So this, not as nice. All you do is throw some light in your face and it looks much better. The easiest way to do this, find a window. Literally face the window. It's usually really, really nice light. The next thing you want to do is get your camera out. So Rich has a little tripod here. It's called a Joby Gorilla Pod, or it's probably the knockoff one. Knockoff one. Costs like $10 on Amazon. Yep. But what it does is it helps your video be stationary. Rather than trying to hold your camera and you're moving all around because you're jittery, just put it on a tripod, take a step back, and then you can talk, use your hands. It'll be interesting. So the more movement, the better your videos generally have. So I like to do a lot of our videos walking. So just moving as we're talking because it's more interesting than just something stationary. But when you're getting started, just something stationary works well, but use your hands, talk like a normal human. First thing before you do any video, smile. So before you do anything, you smile at the camera. Hey, so today you've got a question about da la la la, and I'm gonna answer it. If you don't smile, what do you use when you walk? So Michelle asked a good question. When you walk, you can have somebody filming you, but there's things called a gimbal. So basically what a gimbal is like a stabilizer for your phone. So there's one for iPhones. It's called the DJI, I don't know. The brand is DJI. For my camera, I use a DJI Ronin. Osmo. So the DJI Osmo is an actual camera that you can use. So it's a stabilized camera. So it's just like on a little little thing. Or no, the Osmo is the actual gimbal. And then there's I think it's the Osmo Pro, which is the little camera that DJI makes. That's an actual camera that's on a gimbal. But when you're walking, if you want it stabilized, you can do that. You can also have someone film you. You can also
Those
move
S-Move
around.
Sticks, those
Yeah,
Smooth
Smooth, Q
Yeah.
Smooth. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Just type in gimbal, iPhone gimbal, and they're like $60 or $70. But it definitely gives you a new dynamic. So if you're wanting to walk through a house and almost like virtually show a house, you can do that like selfie style.
They
And
should
it'll
all
be-
get it.
yeah.
That's why it works.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very, very smooth footage. It looks a lot better than, been there, done that. So location, lighting, and then the last one is audio. So you don't want to be in a big, huge room that's going to have a bunch of echo. You want to have something nice and small. So in an ideal situation, you would record in like a closet. So it's got a bunch of, coats and clothes and all that, and it's dampening all the sound. But obviously, it's going to have a really ugly background. You're not going to have any light. So make sure you're in like a smaller space. Make sure you don't have a bunch of people talking behind you. Make sure it's nice and quiet. The way you can get around that is you can buy a thing for your phone. It's called a lavalier mic, so LAV, lav mic, and it just clips onto your shirt here, and you can talk right into it, and it eliminates a lot of the outside noise and a lot of sound. So for about $100, you could get a tripod, a stabilizer, and a microphone, and you would look like you have a very, very professional production. And your phone camera is really, really good. Like, don't worry, it's very, very nice. So those are the three things I look at: location, the lighting, and the audio. Outside of that, you're going to be in pretty good shape. So just make sure that you look good. Are you doing this Facebook Live or uploading? So there's a couple different beliefs. Facebook Live's fine, but usually you don't get as much interaction after. So if you want to be able to have it edited, if you want to put a couple things together, you can do it afterwards and you don't have to do it on Facebook Live. So Facebook Live is fine, and it allows you to be less professional because people know that you're doing it on a one take. It also gives you that little notification, but I'm finding a lot of people are like ignoring Facebook Live. Like, it's kind of annoying that you get the notification, you open it up, and usually someone's rambling. It's not anything really concise and consistent. And so a lot of people are just ignoring the Facebook Lives now. I know a lot of other realtor social media people are saying the opposite, but I don't think so. Yeah, GoPro, the stabilization on a GoPro is absolutely great. I mean, there's an app called, I can't remember. There's an app, I'm gonna tell you, because it's got a stabilizer right on your iPhone, right on the app.
Don't those GoPros come with their own editing software?
Yeah, so GoPro's got its own editing software. There it is, Filmic Pro. So the Filmic Pro app
Turn it
is,
around so they can see it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. So it's this guy up here. Whoop, where are we? There we go. That one, Filmic Pro. Whoop, Filmic Pro. So that has an actual stabilizer built into it. So you can use your iPhone, and what it does is it just crops it down a little bit. But then when you move around, like, the screen moves, so it'll be a little bit smoother. So you can hold it by hand and it'll look a little nicer. Now that won't let you do a Facebook Live, obviously. Next thing, editing. So you've made your video, you've said everything that you want to say, and now you need to edit it. There's 3 iPhone editing software that I've used that work really, really well. First off, iMovie, it's the free one. It works well. If you get the clips, you could just cut them together so they all just kind of flow. I would highly suggest going on upwork.com, and going and asking somebody for a nice outro. I wouldn't do an intro because they want to get right into the video, but the outro, which will have your name, your logo, your contact information, all of that stuff at the end, and it'll just be saved in your phone. So what about for Android users? Get an iPhone. That's my suggestion. I'm sorry, I literally, I have no idea for Android. I do apologize. I have everything Apple. So get an iPhone. I'll tell you some apps, and I don't know if Android I don't know if Android will work as well. Um, but on iMovie, you can literally just cut the beginning and ends, or like the little pieces in the middle where you screwed up. You can cut that out, and it'll just kind of all bunch together, so it'll sound nice and smooth. And then if you have that little outro that's made for you on Upwork, it'll only cost you like probably $50 to $100, and you can reuse it over and over and over again. So you'd make it once, and now it's got this nice logo, your name, your contact information. It's probably got some movement and some sound to it, and it just flows right out. So I would suggest doing that, and it makes it just look that little bit more professional, and that way you have that contact info at the end, and so you don't have to ask like all realtors do of, well, are you looking to buy or sell a house? No, they'll be able to see at the end of who to contact because you just did the video. So iMovie's the free one. The next one I like is Adobe Rush. So Adobe Rush is an app that you can use from, or it's Premiere Rush. It is right here, that RU one. So that one is $10 a month unless you have like the Adobe suite, which I'm assuming you don't because you guys aren't doing video a bunch. So it's $10 a month, but that one's really, really simple to use, and it does a lot more than iMovie. It has some really good titles. So like at the beginning, if you wanted to put your name and, John Smith, eXp Realty at the bottom, it'll come on nice and smooth. You can cut stuff together. You can add audio to it, no problem. That one's kind of the next step up. So like a medium, mid-level video person. So I've used it and made YouTube videos on it because I wanted to try it out and make sure it worked, and had no problem. Shot a video from my phone, edited it right on there. I was able to turn it around in like 30 minutes of like a good 5-10 minute YouTube video. And then the last one is LumaFusion. I don't have that one on my phone. I've used it before. It's really, really good. It's $20 total. But for $20, you're getting basically an editing software that is a professional grade editing software. It's got a higher learning curve. It's a little more challenging to understand. But once you do, you're going to be able to do a whole lot more. Like you can do transitions, you can do effects. It will look very, very nice. And I'm saying for you guys, I would either go with the iMovie or the LumaFusion. So if you're wanting to do a lot more videos, LumaFusion is the way to go. But if not, iMovie is really simple to use. It's going to allow you to cut just the little pieces that you need, and it's an easy way to go. The next thing, if you don't want to edit at all, go to Upwork.com and search for somebody for video editing, and you can pay probably $15 an hour for this Upwork. And so you can put it in there. You'll be able to write out exactly what you're needing. I want this, 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 and this. Can you edit it for me? For $15 an hour. And so generally you're going to be able to get a little 1-minute video done for $30 or less. So if you have these videos and you budget it in and say, I'm doing 1 video per week, I'm going to record it myself and I'm going to send it to Upwork. I'm going to be able to get all of my videos done and edited for me, so I don't have to spend that time for maybe $100, $120. And that's really, really good and effective. Saves you a bunch of time. So once you have your video shot, your video edited, the next thing is to distribute it. So to put it on social media or wherever you're going to use it. So we talked about this one. It's going on Facebook. Make sure you post it with a caption, talk about what this video is. And then usually a way that I like to do social media is to ask for likes or ask for engagement. So, hey, what is your #1 tip for a open house? If you were doing an open house, what would you do to make sure that you have people coming? So I like to, at the bottom of every post, if it's a kind of a FAQ, we either ask a question or ask to share it or something like that, because the more engagement you get on a post, the better. LumaFusion's now $29.99. See, it's a good one. That's why they keep upping it. That one's my favorite. It works really, really well. So yeah, just ask for some sort of engagement. Like this post if you've had a successful real estate or open house. Like this post if you've ever been in that situation. Give me a heart with if you've learn something. Post your favorite emoji if you're going to use one of these techniques. So ask for the engagement on your post. That way, the more engagement you get, the more it's shown to more people. And also it's the social proof. So if I see a post with 0 likes, I'm probably not going to read it. If I see a post with 30 likes, I'm more likely to read it. If it has a bunch of comments, I'm more likely to go read all the comments. So Sheena asked, how about video editing for iPhone? That's all of the things I talked about. iMovie, Adobe Rush, and LumaFusion are my 3 favorite. They all work on iPhone for editing. But if you want something free, iMovie is the one to start with. That's for kind of beginner level. If you want more of an intermediate, Premiere Rush. And then the last one, LumaFusion, is kind of the highest level you can do the most in it. So with all that being said, ideas to get started today. If you have never done video, you're nervous about starting video, first off, get over it because you need to. Second off, if you do an Instagram story, it is the easiest way to start with video by just doing a selfie and shooting behind the scenes of your day-to-day. So if I did it right now, I'd be like, so I'm doing a recording on how to record videos in your business. Let me know what questions you have. But it dies in 24 hours. It's gone. So if you screw up, it doesn't matter. They're going to forget about it in probably 3 minutes, but in 24 hours, it's gone. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to live there forever, but it's going to get you the comfortability of starting shooting video. So first place to start, I always suggest Instagram stories. Next place, FAQs. You guys are asked a million questions every single day. Just start writing down the questions that are asked and then answering them with that problem solution benefit on your phone. And then the final way is to make that humanizing video. And the easiest way is to tell a story. When I was blank, I had boom, 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 whatever happened. And so based on that, I believe that I'm Rich Tomasini. I'm a real estate agent. So let me know if you guys have any questions. All it does is allows you to be relatable, allows you to be seen as somebody just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's good.
That's what I have. Do you guys have any questions? Type them in the chat. Love to answer them if you guys need any help.
I muted everybody's microphones, so we didn't have a ton of white noise, but unmute your microphone at this point anytime you want. Laura, I didn't know you
have a question.
some computers at the house.
Go for it.
Do they have any filters for us that are over 35?
So actually the iPhone selfie mode, so like the one that's in like portrait or selfie mode, so this facing has like some sort of beauty filter built in, which
It's called Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Snapchat, yeah.
but I mean the thing is, like, you guys talk to people all the time. You don't want to put on some
Yeah.
fake front.
Yeah.
Like I get it all the time. I'm like, but it's who you are, you know.
Yeah.
Especially on Instagram, like the more real you are, the no makeup videos are actually working better for women because it's like, wow, they're real, they're authentic. I know it's super nerve-wracking for you, but people relate to them better because they're like, man, she must have a lot of strength to be able to get on there and just post a no makeup video. Like, she must really know what she's talking about. And I'm seeing a lot of really good results from women that are doing that. I know it's scary.
Let the gray hair out and the no makeup on.
Yeah, why not? That's who you are.
That's what I say. I'm like,
Michelle asked, mic, wired or wireless? I love a wireless mic because it gives you a lot of freedom. I have the Rode Wireless Pro for my camera. I believe you could use it on your iPhone if you would like. It's just more expensive, but I love having a wireless mic because I could put a mic here, I could walk back 100 feet and I could talk and it sounds like I'm standing right here. So you can get a lot more interesting movements and moving around. Whenever I do videos for people, we always use a wireless mic because I let them go wander off wherever they want to go and can still hear them. IG story focus is my favorite. Yeah, Lauren, I mean, IG story is the most effective way to reach people because it shows up at the top. It's the first thing people see. And I've done a poll. This is why I know it's the most effective, because I say, when you go on Instagram, what do you do? This is how I learn what people are searching for. They say, oh, I go on. I said, okay, awesome. You open up Instagram. What do you do first? Well, I go through the stories. Okay, great. Let's make stories a priority, and your feed can be more of the professional style videos. So for you creating videos yourself, why don't you do a bunch of them on those stories and answer those problem solution benefit really quickly in 15 to 30 seconds. And then when you want something done really nicely, do a professional one that's maybe a higher quality or like a really big problem or something that you're asked a lot more, and put that on your feed, or do just photos on your feed or whatever it may be. But IG stories, by far the easiest way to get started, but also it is the #1 way that people are using Instagram right now. It's the first thing they go to, so I want to be remembered first.
What about flattering angles?
Flattering angles.
I lost 20 pounds since I saw myself on video 6 months ago. And I was like, oh my God, who's the fat guy?
Yeah. Yeah. So straight on eye level is what kind of it's the normal view. You should be like, everyone should be going eye level. If you put the camera below you looking up, it makes you give off like a power look, but it also does like the double chin look. So if you're someone that has that you feel confident about whatever you look like, and you don't worry about what you look like, but you want to be seen as in power, if you put the camera just slightly below and kind of do one of these, like, it makes me seem much more powerful than when this camera was in my face. And then if you want to have less of the double chin, but also it makes you seem a little weaker, you put the camera slightly above you. So now the camera's in power, not me, and it makes me seem slightly weaker. So, you know, I always see the Instagram poses of the up like this to get rid of the double chin, makes you look great, but also it makes you actually seem weaker from a video perspective because you're looking up to talk. You know, it's kind of like the power move of why like a Tony Robbins is super effective, because he's so tall. And so people always have to look up to him. And so it makes him seem like this super powerful figure. And so that's why kind of the angles as far as what. So if you want to look great, have the camera slightly above you. If you want to be very powerful, put the camera below you so it's kind of looking up and you're seen as this big powerful figure. Good one, Rich. Nice question.
I'm paying attention.
Jeez. I'm going to try the double chin. Yeah.
Hey, has everybody, right, anybody else have any other questions? I got to get this guy on the road. He actually makes a lot of money. He's just been kind enough to come over and unpack a ton of information.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm underpaying him now.
I'd love to. I mean,
an hour ago, I felt like I was overpaying him. Yeah.
I want to come in and answer any questions I can for you guys. I mean, there's a ton of knowledge that is necessary for social media. Video is the way to go right now if you want to reach the most people the most effectively. But if you've got any questions about social media, you guys want any trainings, like, I am all in to teach you anything. That's why I work with this guy, because I like being able to reach a lot of people, or as many people as we can.
Well, good people on this call. I mean,
I don't know about that Lance guy.
This isn't for everything. Oh my God. If the world had more Lances, there'd be no violence. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Jump in right now while we got them.
Who's going to do a video?
Me.
Okay, tag me. I'm going to share it. Ryan
Okay.
Weber LKN on Instagram. Ryan Weber LKN. Shoot a video, tag me, I'll share it. That way you guys can get some confidence about yourselves.
Yeah,
I want to see it. I'll give you some feedback if you want to send it in direct message. Send it over to me. I'll give you feedback how you can make it better.
Awesome.
Okay.
Lance,
Yeah, Ryan Weber LKN, 2 B's.
2 B's.
Yeah.
Or not 2 B's.
Yes, 2 B's.
what to be?
Do you?
And that's
do you-
Ryan or Brian?
Ryan with the R. Ryan.
Okay.
Do you attach landing pages to the videos? The answer is yes, if you're doing a call to action. So the only reason to use a landing page is if you are trying to get a call to action. And I do 99% of my videos with no call to action, because I do not want to ask for a sale. I don't want people to think that I'm selling every single time. And I know this is the hardest thing for you realtors, to not sell every single time you post. But the more branding you do, when that person needs you, they're going to reach out to you. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get people to reach out when they need you. You're not selling every single time. You don't walk up to somebody the first time you meet them, like, hey, we're going and sleeping together.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that. You've got to get to know them. You've got to nurture that relationship. So nurture it first before you ask for the sale.
I tried that. It can work from time to time, but alcohol.
Figured.
what I was missing was the call to action thing. You know, all this Zig Ziglar stuff that they've been regurgitating for decades doesn't apply anymore. I'm a huge fan of no call to action. I learned that through Ryan, and I haven't perfected it because you see I still go back to sales. But if I can totally lose that, I think I can be a lot more effective.
So I do a lot of videos with Thomas Golly Grimes law firm. We've done one call to action in the entire 2019, that's where we're at. We've done one call to action in the entire 2019. They've made $1 million extra this year just through video marketing. That's the only thing different we've done. So
The worst year in real estate, I would imagine.
yeah, I mean, they've broken records every single year. So no call to action works. We've done one literally the whole year, and it was because I just wanted to run an ad because I wanted to try it, and it didn't really do anything different from building a brand and a reputation. So that's really what the big goal is.
What's your IG?
What's my? Oh yeah, all right.
Okay. All right, everybody. So listen, we're trying to add value on these calls, and my God, that was like drinking out of a fire hose. Very organized. Nice job for a guy that's wearing pink socks right now.
I literally don't take notes. It's the first time I've ever taken notes. I usually just talk.
So we did this live on the page. So if you need to listen to it again or you missed parts of it because you're working, it will end. You can hit end on that now. Finish. And we should be ready to go. So I will send out the next one that we'll do before Christmas, and it will be on another topic that can help us. So thank you so much for carving out a little time on your day.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. It was really good.
Good. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a nice afternoon. See you all soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.